longer trip up to Hull, and let's hope it's a fruitful one. Anyway, the Saints team for tonight: number 1, Phil Vivers; 2, David Tanner; 3, Mark Bailey; 4, Paul Loughlin; 5, Alan Hunt; 6, Tommy Frodsham; 7, Neil Holding; 8, Paul Farber; 9, Paul Groves; 10, David Cosgrove; 11, John Harrison; 12, Roy Haggerty; 13, Shane Cooper; substitutes 14, Tony Cave; 15, Paul Jones. The Hull side: number 1, Gay; 2, Eastwood; 3, Blacker; 4, Price; 5, Jackson; 6, Pearce; 7, Mackey; 8, Dannett; 9, Jackson; 10, Crooks; 11, Wellham; 12, Sharp; 13, Folks; and 14, Nolan, with 15, Harrison. Saints kick off. Hull in possession. Obviously a tough tie here at the Boulevard. Referee Whitfield, tonight's match day official. He's right on the job straight away, as is usual in the early seconds, showing his authority, penalising the Saints for moving up too quickly in an offside position at the play the ball. But it's Gary Pearce there with the penalty for Hull. Finds touch just short of the halfway line, and it's Pearce and this half-back partnership of Mackey that Saints will have to watch tonight. Solid tackling there. Haggerty and Harrison combined second row, but Hull moving it across field. Pearce again on to second row forward there, John Sharp. But good tackling there. Neil Holding quickly in with Mark Bailey. Hull just penetrating the Saints ranks now. Well, looks as though the ball was coming back to the kick up field. It's scrum half Greg Mackey there. But Holding and Cooper bang him down. The partisan crowd here at the Boulevard don't like it. And as opposed to last season's whole match where we was ejected from Brian Smith's podium, we're over here on what is known as in the Tripney stand. Mackey kicks through. Vivers has to take it in his in-goal area. He does well. Just manages to stay in the field of play. But it's pressure there. Greg Mackey kicking it through. As Vivers taking a knock in the tackle. It looks that way. Referee Whitfield wants him to get up and play the ball. Well, the man's down. He's on the... Well, they give it... let's go with the man injured. He must think that he's not severely injured. He's still down on the ground, he's Vivers. Somebody else had to play the ball there. He's being treated now. But Saints break on the blind side. Mark Bailey. Just short of the 25-yard line. Well, referee Whitfield, in his wisdom, he thought it fit that there was nothing wrong with Phil Vivers. He's still being treated by the Saints physio. But Loughlin now on the far side, looking to get things going. So Saints, they did well there. They made 25, 30 yards after being pegged on their own line. Sixth and final tackle. Neil Holding up in the air job, but it's Anthony Jackson's going to take it comfortably. He does so. Mark Bailey comes in and completes the tackle, but it's Hull still on the charge. You can't afford to give them any room in the early minutes. Paul Groves now. Well taken by David Tanner. Did well, Tanner. Right in front of opposition here. Does well to keep in field. Saints now taking it across the line. David Cosgrove straightening it up. So Paul Groves coming up with the ball, and they spread it to David Tanner. Missed Mark Bailey out, and Tanner took it well one-handed, but it's Groves again. Farber going across field. Solid tackling from Hull. Midway between the Saints 25 and the halfway line. Neil Holding now. Positional kicking, but it's straight back to the full-back. Richard Gay. Coming across field. Well, he breaks through two tackles, but Farber has him, bangs him down, right on the centre spot there. Pearce at dummy half, I think it is. Partisan Hull crowd here as Greg Mackey slips a short ball out, but Saints come up with it. Loose handling there, but the Hull man adventurous there. He tried to pass around the man. It was Steve Crooks, one of the players that's come across the city. Well, Loughlin stretching his legs after some sterling work by Roy Haggerty. Off one foot onto the other, slipped it round onto Loughlin. It takes on the charge. Tommy Frodsham locked it past to Shane Cooper, but he takes a good tackle, but Cosgrove comes back for the reverse pass. Saints keep it going now. Backing up the name of the game, Mark Bailey attacked in half-back. On to captain Shane Cooper. John Harrison. If they can just follow this Harrison, he's 6'7", he's standing the tackle there. If he can get through and keep his arms free and release the ball. But it's now Roy Haggerty, comes in field, bobbing and weaving, always looking to release his Roy Haggerty. International Pac-Man, sixth and final tattle signified by referee Whitfield's stretched left arm, but Hull are penalised there. Bad play from Hull, right on the sixth tattle. They'd only have to tattle the Saints player in possession, and it would have been the changeover, but it's an early chance now for Saints to get points on the board. Referee Whitfield right on the job, and he penalises the Hull outfit. It's 35 yards out. It's virtually in the centre of the field. There's just 5 minutes play gone. No score at present. And Loughlin there, Saints International Test Centre, prolific goal scorer. 68 goals this season, Paul has. Plenty of barracking from the partisan crowd, but Loughlin there, gone to the left of the sticks. So an early chance for Saints there, going begging. So after 5.5 minutes played, there's still no score, and Saints with just that one a possible scoring chance. After some sustained pressure in the early minutes by Hull, peppering the Saints line. So Pearce to drop out. Good drop kick. Mark Bailey takes it after the first bounce. Inside to David Tanner. Going crossfield. This ex-Fylde Rugby Union David Tanner there. Just a bit out of favour at the back end of last season, but due to the injury problems at Nosey Road, he's having an extended run. Haggerty breaking through. Powerful Pac-Man Haggerty onto Frodsham. Lofted ball taken well by David Tanner. The support inside forward still going. Deep into the Hull 25 now. Saints on the attack. Tanner across the line. Bailey. Shane Cooper. Lofted ball there. Holding Frodsham. Out to Roy Haggerty, and he's stretching, sidestepping his way through. Inside ball to Beavers. Get back to Haggerty. But it's Saints putting the pressure on now. An early score will be essential. Tommy Frodsham, lofted ball. Oh, missed Frodsham out onto forward. David Tanner is into the corner, yes. Tanner's into the corner there. Quick play from Saints, and Roy Haggerty instrumental in that try, that leading up to that try, the movement, handling about 2 or 3 times in that movement, and the ball coming across field. Finally a lofted pass to David Tanner, and he touches down in the corner. So Saints second early, 4 points to 0 lead.
And the first try of the evening goes to David Tanner.
Plenty of boos from the partisan crowd, as I say. You can't expect anything over here. There's only us Saints spectators at this side of the pitch in the Threepenny stand. It's over 100 years old, I believe. It's due to be demolished, and as long as they leave it full of old speckage when they pull it down, we can't grumble, can we? But anyway, Saints are in the lead, 4 points to 0. David Cosgrove here just at the side. He's having a little laugh at the candid comments from the partisan crowd. It's always the same all round. It's all friendly stuff, isn't it? But it's Loughlin now. It's going to come in, that is it? No, just to the right of the sticks. So the score still 4 points to 0. They're all crying hee-haw in this Threepenny stand. Well, we'll show them. Let's go again and hit back. And Roy Haggerty in the early minutes, and he's having a perler, isn't he? Last season, Hull, they did the dumble over the Saints here at the Boulevard. Saints went down by the tune of 21 points to 12, and then to Nosey Road at the back end of last season. In a diabolical display, Brian Smith's men came up with the spoils by winning by 20 points to 9. But Mark Bailey couldn't take it there. Awkward ball. He knocked it on. Referee Whitfield ruled he'd knocked it on in the in-goal area, so Saints are forced to drop out from between their own sticks. So that will be Hull in possession and putting the pressure on the Saints, hopefully to try and put them back on level terms or put them in the lead. But a tremendous drop goal, tremendous drop out, I should say, deep into the Hull half, but taken well by fullback Richard Gay, who can now lead Jackson attacked in half-back. Hull moving it to the right. But nearly up to the Saints 25, and it's Jackson again. Back to Mackey, on to Gary Pearce, on to Wellham. Pearce, you've got to watch this man, he's the provider. Certainly a lot of the moves run around these two half-backs, but Shane Cooper there penalised for now moving up in an offside position. So Gary Pearce there, he's going for goal. I thought Pearce was the captain. I'm not quite sure who was at the centre of the field. I was just doing the team changes, but Pearce there, he's looking throughout the bench. Perhaps he's just waiting for the sign, the word of wisdom from coach Brian Smith. And he's decided he's going to have a go for goal. He's a prolific goal scorer. He's Gary Pearce, ex-Welsh Rugby Union, and prolific goal scorer in his own right. Well, as I said, tonight's game postponed from Sunday because of Wakefield playing Hull in the preliminary round, which Hull won. I thought Wakefield might have won with home advantage. They're not a bad side, Wakefield, but they came up with the spoils. Hull at 19 points to 12. Gary Pearce there, hits the post, very unlucky. Roy Haggerty has it. On to Cooper. Did well there. Awkward ball, hit the post, come back. It could have easily gone into a Hull pair of hands. Big John Harrison now, moving his way up to the 25. Excuse me, you're suffering with a little touch of flu. But it's David Cosgrove in possession, just short of the 25-yard line. So we're frodging him at dummy half along the line. Groves, Neil Holding, picks up field, but Richard Gay is going to have no trouble, I would imagine. Picks it up safely. Waltzes his way past Bailey and Tanner. Mark Bailey brings him down, keeps with the man. On to wingman now, Anthony Jackson. The whole crowd, the partisan crowd, come alive now, get behind the team. Well, there's a tremendous following from the Saints here tonight. At least 4 coaches from the supporters club and numerous cars and what have you. Well, play allowed to go on, yes. I think it was Shane Cooper, he hooked the ball back. It touched the Saints player, went back to Hull, so it's a further 6 tackles. Big prop forward there, Andy Dannett, powering his way into the Saints ranks. Into the Saints 25 now. Awkward ball, a bit of problems, a few problems there at the play of the ball, but it's Hull. Greg Mackey across the line, left centre Richard Price. But super tackle from Holding, just as the full-back was coming through to latch onto hopefully the pass, which didn't materialise. Steve Crooks. 6th and final tackle now, Richard Price. Onto Greg Mackey, inside to Wellham. Overlap on the left to Steve Folks. Inside ball to number 4 there, Richard Price. Takes it well and touches down. And funnily enough, the final pass there from Steve Folks to Richard Price was at least a foot forward, but I can't hear anybody on this side moaning this time about the forward pass. The same as they did when Saints went in on the far side for their opening try. But it's Richard Price there, he levels the scores, 4 points each, and with Gary Pearce with should be a simple conversion attempt for him. He missed with a penalty attempt only a few minutes ago from about 10 or 15 yards further back, but he's farther in this time and he shouldn't have any problem. Gary Pearce now positioning himself 15 yards out, just to the right of the sticks. Yes, no problem. Lost it right between the sticks, so Hull take the lead for the first time by 6 points to 4.
Attention please, with the owner of a Vauxhall car, DNW 42Y. Please remove it. It's in a fire lane on the main car park. DNW 42Y.
So Paul Loughlin now, centre field to kick off. Hull just hitting back there in the 13th minute. Richard Price try, converted by Gary Pearce, and Hull in the lead by 6 points to 4. Early days yet, still anybody's game. Tackling's the name of the game, and it's usually the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, the softening up process. The Saints without a game for the last 8 to 9 days. The last game was at Barrow, versus Barrow at Knowsley Road. A 10 try and 11 goal performance. So the Saints come through by 62 points to 18. Hull kick through. The ball now with Phil Beavers. And since that Barrow performance, Barrow has sacked their Australian coach, Rod Reddy. Alan Hunt looking for some action coming in, centre field. Quickly bundled down. Second row there, Paul Wellham quickly in. Little chip kick through, Tommy Frodsham gathers it, still going, it's Frodsham, looking for support, Cooper's with him, onto Paul Loughlin, stretching his legs, moving down the left wing, inside ball, Cooper against it, keep it moving. Tremendous 40-yard burst from the Saints, into passing there, and they're still keeping it going. Haggerty for the loop movement. Turning in the tackle, one-handed there, Haggerty always looking to release the ball for the break. Tommy Frodsham attacked in half-back, Neil Holding. But Hull penalised, moving up too quickly on the referee's right. Paul Groves quickly up there on the spot, looking for a quick tap penalty. I think Paul Loughlin's going to have a go for goal, is he? Well, somebody being spoken to on the Hull side. Obviously something said to referee Whitfield, some candid comment. They obviously didn't agree with referee Whitfield's decision on the offside decision there, but he'll stand no messing, and Paul Loughlin is going to have a go for goal. Just 16 minutes gone so far, Saints trailing by 6 points to 4. Paul Loughlin with 2 unsuccessful attempts so far this evening. Positioning himself, strikes it well, right between the sticks, and that puts Saints back on level terms after 16 minutes. Well, there's one thing, there's certainly these crowd over here, they certainly come out with some rubbish comments, don't they? But this is all you can expect when you're over here in the middle of them trying to do a job. They certainly try and give you some barracking, and not as we take any notice like, do we? What's Hull kick off? Cooper gathers it, Groves at dummy half, on to John Harrison. In trouble with some niggly injuries, John Harrison, but he's back in the team now. Bernard Dwyer out injured against Barrow with a jaw injury. Roy Haggerty again. Releases the ball, good play from Haggerty, on to Neil Holding. Looking to burrow his way through, but he keeps it going. Saints still keep the ball moving. 5 or 6 yards short of the halfway line. Paul Groves, chip and run. Was it Richard Gay, I think, back for that, and Groves clamps him. The score still tied at 6 points each. Saints looking for the 6th league win on the trot. They've already 6 wins on the trot, including the New Zealand win, a great win at Nosey Road against the opening match against the Tourists, which they came through by 27 points to 26. Now with 5 straight wins and looking to get back into second position in the Stones Bitter League Championship table. But it's all in possession. Greg Mackey on to Gary Pearce. Little chip kick through. Richard Gay following it up, but Mark Bailey has it. Good play from Bailey as a well-planned move there by Gary Pearce, and Richard Gay coming up. But it's Harrison there moving up. On the blind side here, on our side at the Tripney stand here at the Boulevard. David Cosgrove looking to weave a way through, but no way through for him. Solid tackling. Nothing more than we can expect from the Hull outfit. And Saints with obviously not a full strength forward line. Loughlin, lovely ball to Alan Hunt. What can he do? Coming in field, breaks one tackle. Beavers in support. Yes, he does well, Beavers. He gets the ball back. Beavers always up and about there in support. Alan Hunt breaking through, brought through one tackle. Neil Holding now. Tommy Frodsham on his right, he couldn't release it. 6th and final tackle. Referee Whitfield's upstretched left hand. Cooper takes it well. Chip through, Bailey and Tanner following it. Awkward ball. It finds touch. Yes, the ball's into touch. Whether the Hull man actually had the hold of the ball when it went into touch. But this is going to be the first scrum of the match after 19 minutes play. Shows you what an open game it's been so far. Ball being thrown about a bit. Quite a few mistakes in the early minutes, but this is the first scrum. Yes, it's Hull that was the perpetrators, and Neil Holding, he's got the ball in his hands, he's going to feed. Hopefully Saints get a clean heel, which they do. Loop movement there with Shane Cooper, the ball inside to David Tanner. But it's Saints in command, deep in the Hull 25, and hopefully going to extend, well, not extend the lead, but get back the lead. Troy Haggerty right in front of the 6. Centre field, Paul Groves at dummy half. Another 4 tackles for Saints to make it count. Groves, loop movement there. Groves with the ball back onto John Harrison. Trying to get through, but solid tackling again. Saints move it right. Cosgrove moving up towards the line, centre field. It's right in front of the sticks. Paul Groves, inside ball to Farber. Brings it back in to Tommy Frodsham. Yes, he's through Frodsham. It's on to Groves, backing up, and Saints are in for another try. Paul Groves there, he raises the ball in his hand with delight. And I'm sure my good lady wife, who is Paul Groves' #1 fan. And Groves touches down, extends the Saints lead to 10 points to 6. It's right in front of the sticks, and Loughlin, well, just to the right of the sticks, and Loughlin, he shouldn't have any trouble converting this Groves try. That's Paul Groves' 4th try of the season.
The try scorer, Paul Groves.
So Paul Groves there, and as he went over and touched down, you could have heard a pin drop in this Tripney stand. They certainly don't like it when they're behind, and Loughlin bangs it over there, extends the Saints lead now to 12 points to 6. And they certainly have gone quiet in the Tripney stand here now.
The substitution about to take place, seeing Carl Harrison replacing Lee Jackson.
Well, as you just heard on the PA system there, after 21 minutes of the first half, Carl Harrison coming on replacing the hooker Lee Jackson. So it's Hull trailing now by 12 points to 6 as Lee Jackson, he hobbles off there as he's taken a leg injury. That'll be a blow to Brian Smith's plans. But John Morley, the Wigan coach, he reckons that the hooking role is no longer a specialised position. I suppose as long as they're good in the loose, more or less you should get the ball with the feed. David Tanner takes it well. A good flighted kick there from Pearce. Tanner brings it up to the 25 and is duly dumped down. Andy Damerton substitutes Carl Harrison. Banging to the ground. With Paul Grove, Saints try scorer, attacking half-back. Lofted ball to Paul Farber. Coming through at pace, but equally good tackling from the Hull outfit. Haggerty trying to weave his way through. Always a thorn in the defence side is Roy Haggerty. The ball back to Loughlin. Deep kick upfield. Awkward bouncing ball, but Richard Gay takes it well. Diagonal run across field, but Cooper has him this time, and John Harrison wraps him up round the top. Greg Mackey. Well, he was on Warrington's books, was Greg Mackey, judging by the PA system before we started. It must be Mackey's home debut. They've wished him a long and healthy stay at the Boulevard. But Brian Smith may have influenced his decision to come here. He was playing at Warrington and he was doing well, and ever since Warrington lost his services, they've not done a tap, have they? But it's Hull putting the pressure on. Greg Mackey again. On to loose forward, Steve Fuchs. Diagonal kick. It's going to go touching goal. Just as John Sharp was hurrying through there, but obviously planned moves. Did you see the defence moving up? And Steve Folkes coming through there, a lovely position kick, and John Sharp following it up. But it went touching goal. Saints to restart with a tap from the centre of the 25-yard line. Roy Haggerty now. 10 yards outside his own 25. Groves at dummy half. On to John Harrison. He releases it to Paul Farber. He takes it over to the left. Inside ball. Loughlin. Certainly in at the action is Loughlin. Awkward ball. Mark Bailey tidies up. Just lost about 10-15 yards there, but it was an awkward ball. Paul Loughlin coming through looking for support. Shane Cooper with the ball. Groves brings it to Neil Holding. Diagonal crossfield kick. Taken on the far side there, Paul Eastwood. But taken down 10 yards inside the Saints half. Greg Mackey. John Sharp. But Bailey brings him to the ground. Shane Cooper just comes in. Paul Wellham from acting half-back. Well, whether Wellham's taken over the hooking role, we don't know. Richard Price. Inside ball to Carl Harrison. Substitute forward running on very strongly. Steve Crooks, that's acting half-back. Is that held? Referee Whitfield shouting. Didn't know whether he was shouting 5, but it's Greg Mackey. Feeds it blindside. Steve Folks. Mackey coming round for the reverse pass. But Saints clamping very well. Sixth and final tackle for Hull. Just in the Saints 25. Greg Mackey. Lofted crossfield up and under. But Beavers is there, no problem. Like shelling peas, isn't it, for Beavers? Bread and butter for him, no problem. Haggerty now. On to Loughlin. From acting half-back, Haggerty again. Inside to Cosgrove. Well, it's took a knock there as Roy Haggerty and that tackle. But he's a strong lad, he'll shake it off. Neil Holding, chip kick through. Groves is following up. Groves hacks it on. Referee Whitfield, out play to go on. Well, awkward bouncing ball. But Groves is back there. Hull come up with the ball though. Very awkward bouncing ball. Could have paid off there. Neil Holding chipped through, and both he and Groves were hurrying after the ball. 27 minutes of play gone. Saints in a 12 points to 6 lead, and it's a lead that they mustn't let go at any cause. In fact, we must build on it. Well, Roy Haggerty back in the fray now, up and about. Had the old magic sponge. Well, the whole man riding on the ground. Farber with not a hand on him. Obviously, playing for a penalty there. But Hull now on the charge. Steve Folks releases the ball to Andy Dannett. Hull keeping it going. Well, good display from Hull there, charging forward. Sixth and final tackle, is it, or is it just the... Well, Alan Hunty did well. I think it must have been the sixth and final tackle signified. The arm was up, or whether he was just trying to urge Saints back on side, I don't know. But it's Saints at present in possession, midway between their own 25 and the halfway line, leading by 12 points to 6. And it's certainly a pulsating game. Saints looking very sharp. Ball back with Neil Holding again. Crossfield kick. It's not going to find touch, but full-back Richard Gay, he lets it go, and Anthony Jackson picks it up. Mark Bailey and David Tanner move in quickly to complete the tackle. Well, shouts to get them on side, and how they can see from here, I don't know, but it's surprising what they can see when they want to see, isn't it? Some people say that about me. I don't know how they have the cheek. But it's all in possession. Just on their own 25-yard line. Keeping it going, looking very sharp and moving quickly onto the ball, running hard. Sixth and final tackle now for Hull. Going to be the kick downfield. Pierce there. Beavers takes it well. Hull moving very quickly. Richard Price, but Beavers loses his footing. Right on his own 25. Tanner moves in for acting half-back. Going on his own. Running through, breaks one tackle, but a dual tackle there. 10 yards outside his own 25, brings him down. Groves at dummy half. Saints moving it across the line. Hull moving up very quickly, but Haggerty. The ball touched the Hull man, did it? Is referee Whitfield going to wave the tackle count clean? No, it mustn't have touched the Hull man. Saints are still in possession. Groves, Cooper, on to John Harrison, but solid tackle there, good tackle that man there. Second row forward, John Sharp. Super tackle. But the ball going to ground. Knock on being ruled. And as I say, it's 29 minutes of the game gone. Say it's still in the lead by 12 points to 6, and it's only the second scrum of the game. Shows you what a good open game it has been. It's Hull to feed, it's Greg Mackey. When the scrum is formed to referee Whitfield's liking, they say Hull's regular hook has gone off. But they come up with a heel, they push the Saints off the ball there. Breaking quickly on the right. Still going to Hull, lofted pass, yes. Is he in? He's in at the corner, it's Paul Eastwood. A good break from the base of the scrum there from Hull. They took it away, Mackey took it over. I think it was Brian Blacker in the move. He dummied as he was going to give it to Paul Eastwood. Saints took the dummy and then he lofted it over to his right. And Paul Eastwood, yes it was Paul Eastwood, finished off in the corner. Not making the goal conversion attempt any easier for Gary Pearce, but Hull back in the hunt at 12 points to 10. There's a good try from the base of the scrum. Hull pushing the Saints off the ball. Steve Folkes coming up with it, spreading it to the right onto Brian Blacker. He gave a good dummy. I think it was Brian Blacker anyway on the far side. He gave a good dummy. The ball finally lofted over to Paul Eastwood. He took it well and he went diving in at the corner. So it's Gary Pearce now. Difficult kick just outside the 25 and right on the touchline. Gets the distance. Looks good. Yes! Super kick there from Pearce. That levels the score. 12 points each and 10 minutes remaining of the first half. So Saints kick off, Hull back in possession. Running very hard. Well, he breaks through the line of defence there. Tremendous run. Is it Eastwood again? Coming crossfield, looking for support. Still going, it's Saints, it's Eastwood. A tremendous 60-yard run there. Saints finally wrap him up. But all with the tails up, Greg Mackey weaving his way through. Well, he just lost his footing. Holding comes in, completes the tackle. Crooks at acting half-back, springs it right well forward pass there from Mackey to Price. Going unnoticed by referee Whitfield. As I said, all with the tails up, they come a full 75 yards there. Andy Danner driving his way, 10 yards from the Saints line now. Greg Mackey, Gary Pearce, looking for the gap. Six tackle, well, the drop goalie you can bet with Hull. He'll want to come away with, oh, it's a change over, is it, ruled? No, Agassi's come up with the ball. Must have lost the ball in the tackle there, Gary Pearce. But Paul Farmer in possession now. As Pearce there, he's took a knock in that tackle. Agassi come up with it. I thought it was going to be the sixth tackle, but Agassi obviously coming up with the ball. And it's Saints in possession. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. The score's all tied at 12 points each. Cosgrove. Neil Holding. Tommy Frodsham, little kick through. Yes, it's up lovely for Frodsham, yes. Beavers on it. Well, support. Beavers. Bailey. Yes, Bailey's going to go, is he? Support from Shane Cooper. Keeps going Cooper onto Loughlin. Just brought down with an ankle tap, but Saints a full 50, 60-yard movement upfield there. Cooper again. Hunter Roy, Haggerty, watch him go. Oh, yes. Inches short is Haggerty. Forced back there by some tremendous Hull tackling. But what a pulsating end-to-end game here at the Boulevard. Groves, lofted ball to Farber. Yes, lovely ball up to Loughlin and he touches down. Brilliant work from the Saints there. Hitting back in good style after Hull scoring at this end. Loughlin there going over his 8th try of the season and lovely play. Centre field, slipped it to Farber and what a tremendous forward this Paul Farber is. Now difficult conversion attempt but well within his capabilities. It's on the right side for him. Makes the score 16 points to 12 for the Saints. Well, he gets the distance, just not the accuracy.
Taking place, sees Gary Pearce replaced
Well, Gary Pearce
by Robert Nolan.
is off. Nolan is on after 34 minutes of the first half. So Hull using both of the substitutions, and that'll be a thorn in Brian Smith's side with Gary Pearce going off. He's one of the linchpins of this whole outfit, and I don't wish him any harm, but I'm glad he's off. He certainly put some good balls out and creates some gaps for his team, and that'll be one less to contend with. Hull kick off. Mark Bailey takes it well. Takes in the lead, 16 points to 12, but the ball's loose and Hull come up with it. I think it's Bailey there. Took a knock. Hull block busting through. They'll want to hit back, obviously. But it's certainly end-to-end stuff. A good game. You can't fault the rugby. Mackey feeds inside. Big forwards coming on, running onto Mackey's short ball. But it's Hull now. Across the line. Mackey again. Loose ball. Hull lose yardage. Is Mark Bailey still receiving treatment? Took a knock in that saddle. Certainly doesn't look in good nick there, does Mark. But it's Greg Mackey again. Lofted ball. Directly into touch. It was meant for Paul Eastwood. It was a lofted ball, but as it went to Eastwood, it seemed to just dip. He couldn't take it. It went directly into touch. And that's going to make the third scrum of the evening. It's a Saints feed. Scrums going one each so far. So Neil Holding to feed on the far side. 15 yards short of the Saints try line. Mark Bailey back on his feet now. Saints come up with the ball. Well, a knock on being ruled. Alan Hunt coming through there at pace on the ball, but he couldn't take it. It went down, and that's going to be a Hull feed now. And if Hull get it and spread it out, it could prove costly for the Saints. 10 yards from the Saints line. Hull come up with the ball. Greg Mackey, lofted ball to Eastwood. No try for him this time. He tried to go in at the corner, but it's Hull now. Another 5 tackles. Moving it across the line. Kyle Harrison, big forward. As I said, Hull used both the substitutions. Mackey again, looking for the gap. He saw the gap. He tried to get through. The ball's with Wellham, I think it is. No, Wellham's here, up at the back with us. It's Brian Blacker. Mackey again, on to Andy Danis. Feeds it back to Wellham this time. Sidestep past one. Driving towards the Saints line is Paul Wellham. Greg Mackey. He'll have to do a lot of work now. But it's, good flick ball. It's loose. Saints have got possession. Phil Beavers. Sharp as attack there, Beavers. And Hull pressing. If he could have took the ball, it would have been a certain try. He was coming through at full pace, but the ball, I think it hit him on the shoulder. The ball's loose again, and Hull come up with it. So it's Hull on the charge. 2 minutes before the half-time interval. Hull trailing by 16 points to 12. Andy Dannett looking to get through there. Support on his right, he couldn't release it. Greg Mackey. On to Harrison, back to Mackey, but the ball bounces back to Wellham. But Hull are losing ground. Mark Bailey comes in and clamps him. Roy Haggerty comes in, lends an extra pound. Harrison again from dummy half, is it? Oh, it's Andy Dannett, beg your pardon. But it's Hull still charging. Saints have to line up on their own try line. Hull moving it to the right. Greg Mackey. Short ball there, it's loose again. Loughlin tidies up, but surely the forward pass will be ruled. Yes, Loughlin has to take it in his in-goal area, but the pass there, which went down, was forward. So a scrum to be formed. It's going to be a Saints speed. Neil Holding feeds. Phil Beavers comes up with the ball. Saints just tidying up on the scrums by 3-2. Shane Cooper, lofted ball. David Tanner, what can he do up this touchline? Does well, feeds it tight to Mark Bailey. Bailey's on a run. He's still going, he's Bailey. Kicks back inside. Shane Cooper takes up the running. He's no support though. He gives a dummy and it's on to Tommy Frodsham. Saints stretching the whole outfit. Frodsham going for the line. Yes, and a brilliant try from Tommy Frodsham. A full 75-yard movement from the Saints there. Coming away, David Tanner here on our side, and the ball fed inside. Shane Cooper with not much support, but Frodsham on his left, and he finishes off in good style in the far corner. Just about 20 seconds remaining of this first half, and Frodsham goes in and extends the Saints lead now to 20 points to 12. Tommy Frodsham's 5th try of the season, and we did actually get a little bit of a clapping and vocal support here for the try. It was a superb try, it must be said, even though it is against the whole outfit. The partisan crowd did manage to give a little flicker and actually give us some applause. But it's 20 points to 12, and let's hope Paul Loughlin can slot this one over. A little nearer this time than the last attempt. Loughlin lofts it well, right between the uprights there. I don't think we'll have time for the kick-off. It's all on pod. Well, there's the half-time hooter. I didn't think we'd have time for the kick-off, but Paul Loughlin's goal there makes it 22 points to 12 at half-time. A good display from the Saints in this first half. An opening try from David Tanner in the 7th minute, and then Hull hit back with a Price try converted by Pearce. That made it 6 points to 4 for Hull. Then the Loughlin penalty goal levels it up at 6 points each, and then tries from Groves, a goal by Loughlin, and then Hull hit back with a try from Eastwood, hit by goal by Pearce, 12-12, and then 2 late tries in the last 7 minutes from Loughlin and Frodsham, the last one converted by Loughlin. So the half-time score here at the Boulevard, 22 points to 12 for the Saints.
Pamela Menel is celebrating her 30th birthday.
Back with you now for the second half of the Stones Bitter League clash at the Boulevard, with Saints beating Hull by 22 points to 12. An emphatic first half display. No doubt they'll have been urged on by Alex Murphy at the half-time chat, the half-time break. Hull kick-off. Saints will have to keep the performance up. They've certainly stuck to the task, and when need be, they've penetrated the Hull defence and split them wide open. That was a pearl of that last one, finished off by Tommy Frodsham after some good work centre field from Shane Cooper. Saints captain leads by example, and he certainly held the ball to perfection there, and support from Tommy Frodsham finishing it off. Brian Smith, the co-commentator on the Rugby League live match with Clyde Tilsley, which goes out on your TV screens more or less every Saturday. He'll have had a few words of wisdom. Well, Saints going through for the ball there. Referee Whitfield adjudging that the Hull fullback Richard Gay was pushed off the ball in his efforts to gather it. Shane Cooper, he is the captain. He obviously went and complained to Robin Whitfield. He took exception to that and took Saints back a further 10 yards. It's right in front of the sticks. It's, what, 35 yards out. So let's see who's going to take over the goal-kicking duties with the injury to Gary Pearce. So it's just a minute gone in the second half. Eastwood it is, Paul Eastwood, taking over the goal-kicking duties. He used to be the regular goal-kicker here at Hull. As I say, it's with a few players injured in the forward line, with Stuart Evans. Well, he successful with that attempt there. So just 2 minutes into the second half, Eastwood. Pulling Hull back a bit, 14 points to Hull, 22 to the Saints. As Stuart Evans injured, Andy Bateman, he's out. George Mann on tour duty, with Bernard Dwyer with a jaw injury. Paul Loughlin had a knock on the jaw, and Phil Beavers sustained an elbow injury against Barrow. But Loughlin and Beavers back in the hunt tonight. It's 22 points, well, a good tackle there. I was just going to say, 22 points to 14 now, and Roy Haggerty there pulled off a tremendous tackle. That's Hull there, they're backing up. Steve Folkes. This Aussie loose forward. There's Hull trying to break through the Saints ranks, but Saints will have to stick to the task. Obviously a big blow losing Gary Pearce. In the late stages of the first half, but they'll have to buckle down. These things happen, you lose your key players, and he's just had a lengthy injury spell as Gary Pearce, but it's all still in possession. Greg Mackey kicks it down. Phil Vevers gathers it, flicks it up to David Tanner. Tanner coming infield, breaks through one, but finally brought down. Vevers at dummy half, going on his own, looking for space. He's a good, complete player, he's Phil Vevers. You play anywhere. He's usually a full-back, but he's been playing at centre. He's even played at standoff. He certainly gives his all. Been with the Saints 5 seasons now. John Harrison now, straightening up. Centre field, looking for support. Tommy Frodsham coming through, looking at referee Whitfield, who just looked back at him. Shane Cooper, lofted ball, well... Unlucky there, is it? It's a knock-on. The Hull man followed up. It was an awkward ball. It could have easily been 4 points to Hull, at least 4 points. An awkward ball, the Hull man hurrying through, but he couldn't gather it cleanly. He knocked on. It'll constitute a scrum down 10 yards inside the Saints 25. It's going to be a Saints feed. First scrum of the second half, and it goes Saints' way. Phil Vevers. Well, it's down. Hull pick it up very quickly. Steve Folks looking for support. Puts Hull back on the charge. But the whole crowd getting behind him. Greg Mackey, lofted ball out. Well, did he lose it? Yes, he's lost it in referee Whitfield's opinion. I thought he had. So it's a scrum down to be formed again, midway between the Saints try line and the 25. Neil Oldham with the ball in his hands to feed. Hull player taking a knock there, and the Hull physio's on to treat him. Steve Folks it is. Saints come up with the ball. Neil Oldham, quick hands on to Tommy Frodsham. Shane Cooper looking to weave his way through, feeds it on to Paul Loughlin. David Cosgrove, I think it is, on the far side. But it's still in possession, making inroads towards the Hull line. Even though they're just outside their own 25, they are making ground. Cooper along the line. Well, it's gone down again. Neil Oldham snatched at it. Wellham comes up with it, puts Hull back on the charge. Neil Oldham completes the tackle. Another 6 tackles signified by referee Whitfield. Well, the ball going back, was Hull lose it? It was Harrison. So it's Hull now putting the pressure on the Saints. 5 or 6 yards from the Saints try line. Saints come up with the ball. Well, a knock-on being ruled. The ball must have gone down, or whether Saints have knocked on, but the Saints come up with it. It's Greg Mackey in possession. He's going to feed. Mackey to feed. Hull come up with it. Mackey driving for the line, but Cooper has him clamped. Quick hands, and Hull spread it. Richard Gay in the line. He feeds it back inside. John Sharp, but he's forced back. Some tremendous tackling from the Saints there. They've got to defend this line at all costs. Leading at present by 22 points to 14. Well, moving up, Hull losing yardage. Shane Cooper in there, and Phil Vevers in there, I should say. But Saints forcing Hull back. A lofted ball onto Richard Gay. Steps past one. That must be about 4. Folks at a dummy half. Tries to grub her through, but Saints come up with it. Farber picks it up. Good solid forward. Farber surely must be knocking on the door for international honours. John Harrison at dummy half, just making 2 or 3 yards forward. Hull moving up very quickly. Good dummy crossfield. Tommy Frodsham, I think it is. Haggerty bursting through, looking for support, still going Haggerty. I thought they'd let go of him, but he powers his way just outside his own 25. Tremendous international Pac-Man Haggerty. Quick hands, Frodsham onto Paul Loughlin. Well, the ball's loose. Well, touched the Hull man and went forward. Now, is it to knock on or what? No. Hull are in possession. Referee Whitfield moves in quickly. Obviously shaking the ball from Paul Laughlin's hands. Greg Mackey from dummy half position. Groves in, forcing him back with Shane Cooper. Crooks, Mackey along the line. Substitute back Nolan there. The Hull moving it quickly. Still just outside the Saints 25. But taking it blindside, it's Wellham. Must be just keeping inside from that touchline there. Must be just inches in field. Sixth and final tackle for Hull, still in possession. On to Greg Mackey, he's going to run it. Well, he'll have to tackle the man, and it's Saints' ball. Well, Saints have come up with the ball to save the changeover. We haven't had a changeover as yet. Shane Cooper trying to weave his way through. Well, Cooper, the subject of some controversy over last week's Barrow game. He's up for orders on Thursday, allegedly some foul actions against a Barrow player brought by a supposed Barrow video, but where they were, I don't know. They didn't come on our podium. So whether they was in the director's box, I don't know. I've scanned through ours and I can't see anything amiss. But Saints player injured. Referee Whitfield wants somebody to play the ball. It's the sixth and final tackle. Well, he did that at the far end with Phil Beavers. So now he's decided to stop the clock. Surely the man's writhing in agony and he can't see it. All he wants to do is get the game underway, which is all wrong. The Saints physio, they're treating, is it Neil Holding? Took a knock in the tackle, but it's the Saints ball. The sixth and final tackle of this sequence. Referee Whitfield pointing to the spot, but he's got to wait till the player has received treatment. Well, while we're at it, while we're just having a minute now, if I can give a big mention to Paul Laughlin's mum from Ashton. She's a regular viewer of our videos. She buys every one, Paul assures me, and we'd just like to give her a mention. And no doubt, if the score remains the same, or the result at present stands at the end of 80 minutes, she'll be duly delighted, and it'll be a fine win over here at Hull. Well, the referee Whitfield, he decided to let play go on, even though the player's still there. And the ball back to Paul Laughlin now. On the sixth tackle, he kicks it downfield. Richard Gay gathers it. Saints close up very quickly. Paul Wellham, I think that is, plays the ball. Richard Gay at dummy half. No, it wasn't Paul Wellham. Beg your pardon, wrong again. Anthony Jackson it was. Well, the ball goes down. Saints tidy it up. Paul Laughlin quickly down on it. Spreads it to the right. John Harrison. Looking to release. He does so to Paul Groves. Ever alert. Groves. Lofted ball on the far side. Taken well by Mark Bailey. Comes inside. Brought down midway between the Hull 25 and the halfway line. Saints in possession on the attack. Down to 12 men with an injured player. It was Neil Holding, but Palmer stretching out. Laughlin on the inside. Good ball to Laughlin. Lofted ball over to Hunt. Yes, just checks it and falls over. But the pass is ruled forward. The final pass from Laughlin is ruled forward by referee Whitfield. And I must say, it's the first one he's seen all night. Why pick on us? But anyway, good movement from the Saints, breaking through a full 75-yard movement. Holding back now, up on his feet after a nasty knock on his own 25. It's Hull to feed. Hull come up with possession. The Saints third in the table with 12 points from 6 wins out of 8 games. And this will be a tremendous boost for the Saints. They'll be back up into second position after tonight's win. Still a long way to go. 12 minutes gone. But the ball bounces kindly. Comes back in field for Alan Hunt. Brought down just short of the halfway. Well, he's still going, is Alan Hunt. The tackle wasn't completed. Certainly doesn't mess about, does he? Frodsham sees the gap, goes for it. Tremendous player, Frodsham. Plays it to himself. On to Groves. Inside ball to Shane Cooper. Into space. He just let go of Cooper. He's driving for the line. Haggerty's with him. Feeds it inside to Groves. He's in for a brace. Groves touches down under the sticks. And it's that man Cooper again. Winding his way through. The whole men had hold of him on the 25, and they must have thought he was settled. They let go of him. He wound his way through. Haggerty was on his right, Groves was on his left. He fed to Groves, and he touched down just inside the right hand upright, extending the Saints' lead now to 26 points to 14. Paul Loughlin bangs it over, no problem. He's fourth of the evening, extends the Saints' lead to 28 points to 14, so a good 14-point cushion, and surely there's no coming back from Hull this evening, with Saints hitting in good style. Well, I said Hull did the double over the Saints last season, but we played them 3 times. We had them up at Nosey Road in the players' second round. We just beat them by 16 points to 13. But they're a funny side, Hull. They had a couple of good seasons, and then they start off well and just gradually going downhill, languishing near the bottom of the First Division table, about 4th from the bottom, but it's a very competitive division now in the First Division with just 14 teams. But Saints in their own 25, but plenty of movement coming from them. Tommy Frodsham kicking through, looking for a kind bounce. The ball still loose. Cooper comes up with it. Somebody said something to referee Whitfield, but he didn't take any action this time, and Saints back in possession. Beavers, centre field, looking for support. Nearly got it from Paul Farber, but the ball going to ground, and Hull come up with possession. Andy Dannett still driving forward, stood in the tackle. 35 yards from the Saints line, centre field. Feeds it inside to Carl Harrison. So Hull on the charge, trailing by 28 points to 14. Quarter of an hour of the second half gone. Hull having used both the substitutions, but breaking quickly on the far side. Feeds the ball inside, but it's loose. There's just one pass too many there. Brian Smith will be stirring his hair out, but quick break from Richard Price on the far side. Anthony Jackson in there and Richard Gay, but the final pass going a miss, and I think it was Roy Haggerty that finally came up with the ball. But it's Saints again now, in the 25. Hull moving up very quickly, but when Saints put it together, there's no living with them, is there? Across the line, Neil Holding. Paul Farber flicks it up to Phil Beavers, good ball. Beavers into space. Shane Cooper, lovely onto Frodsham. Roy Haggerty takes up the running. Inside now, David Tanner. Up to the halfway line. Good 35-yard into passing movement there from the Saints. Across the line again. Beavers in the line, making the extra man. Paul Loughlin stretching his legs. Doing well, Loughlin still stood in the tackle. Lost the ball, Hunt picked it up. It came off Loughlin's knees for a knock-on being ruled. We got a good view of that there on our camera. You can see that it came off Paul Loughlin's knees. There's a scrum down just in the Hull half. Greg Mackey to feed. Mackey feeds, the ball comes out to right through the tunnel. Referee Whitfield wants it formed again. Well, did well the Hull. Nearly lost one against the head. Richard Gay just brought down by an ankle tap, but Beavers comes back and completes the tackle this time. Just in the Saints half, just a couple of inches. David Cosgrove completes the tackle. On now to Andy Dannett. Good lad, this Dannett, been here since a junior. But it's Hull gradually moving upfield, moving into the Saints 25. Andy Dannett again. Solid play and moving gradually upfield from Hull, but they just can't finish. Steve Crooks at dummy half, across the line. Sixth and final tattle. Referee Whitfield there. Greg Mackey. Crossfield up and under. Well, Mackey there. Well, it's the sixth tackle. It's going to be the change over that, surely. Oh no, it bounced in field, didn't it? I do beg your pardon. It bounced in field off Mackey's kick. And therefore it will be a scrum down formed 10 yards in from the touchline. 10 yards in the Saints 25 with Neil Olin to feed. Just getting a little caught up there in the heat of the moment. The ball bouncing in field. If it had gone directly into touch, it would have been a changeover, but from Mackey's up and under, the ball bouncing into touch. Well, Hull push, and Saints come up with the ball. Holding, flicks it up to Alan Hunt, but Hull move in very quickly. Paul Eastwood, but Alan Hunt's taking a knock. The partisan Hull crowd are obviously not amused by the injury to Alan Hunt. But Saints are still in possession, but they're pegged in their own 25. Shane Cooper, Paul Loughlin. 4 goals and a try this afternoon. Loughlin gets up very slowly, pointing to Andy Dannett. Tommy Frodsham. Dannett comes in, completes the tackle. But Saints are moving up. They're midway between their own 25 and the halfway line. Sixth and final tackle for Saints. Will they elect to run it, or will it go to Loughlin for the kick downfield? It's back to Paul Loughlin. He does well, he gets it away. It gets over the head of Richard Gay. Halfway through the second half and leading by 14 clear points, 28 points to 14 to score. And this certainly looks as though it's going to be Saints' 7th win on the trot and the 6th league win on the trot. Carl Harrison certainly stuck to the task of Saints, and they're beginning to believe in themselves, even though we're depleted ranks. Dannett flicks it back inside to Greg Mackey, looks for the gap, but Farber clamps him. Paul Groves round the legs, and Paul Farber clamps him round the top. Steve Folkes, crossfield grubber for touch, but doesn't find it. Phil Vevers did well back on that ball. Brings it up to the 25. Mark Bailey from acting halfback. 10-15 yards scamper through. Groves flicks it up to Cooper. Brilliant Cooper into space. Flicks it inside to Neil Holding. Unlucky. Off Tommy Frodsham. Eastwood in possession, but Hunt will have him. No, he won't. Eastwood goes in. Well, I thought Alan Hunt would have him there, but Eastwood did well. Sits on the charge, just penetrating the halfway line. And Eastwood snapped it up, a loose ball. He had to juggle with it, but he got it. And Eastwood goes in for his second try of the evening and pulls a try back for Hull. That makes the score 18 points to Hull, 28 to the Saints, with the conversion attempts, which probably will be taken by Eastwood to come. Give the Hull supporters a little something to cheer about, because they've not had much to cheer about this second half, even though they did open the second half scoring in the second minute with an Eastwood penalty goal, which brought them back to 22 points to 14. But then Saints hit back with a Grove strike converted by Loughlin. 28 points to 14, and now Eastwood just bringing Hull back into the game a little. As you can see from where he's positioning the ball, it's only about 2 or 3 feet in from the touchline, so he did well with 3 Saints players chasing him there. So difficult attempt from Paul Eastwood, not a lot of room to move, just outside the 25, and as I said, just 2 or 3 feet actually in the field of play. There he goes, strikes it well, is it coming in? Oh, It's unlucky there, very unlucky. Looks as though it was going to curl in, but a brave attempt from Eastwood. But the score stands at 28 points to the Saints, 18 to Hull. Paul Loughlin gets us underway again. On to Greg Mackey. Inside ball to left winger, I beg your pardon, Anthony Jackson. It's only a right and a left, and I still get it wrong. Sloppy play the ball, but Steve Crooks manages to come up with it. Brian Blacker. Is it from acting half-back? No, it must have been Blacker before. Wrong again. Sorry about that. But it's holding possession. Harrison looking to release the ball. 10 yards short of the halfway line. Holding possession. Just hitting back there. Reducing the deficit to 10 points. A deep kick. David Tanner has to chase it. Manages to gather it. After nearly fumbling it. Puts Saints deep in their own 25. And Hull moving up very quickly. Just have to take the tackles out for the Saints. 2 or 3 tackles, drive upfield. Big John Harrison driving in, but solid tackling from Hull. And they wrench the ball from his hands. Puts Hull back on the charge. Phil Vevers, he can't get out of the tackle. The ball finally played for Hull, and they're moving across the line. Steve Folkes, John Sharp. Farber clamps him. It's Richard Gay making the extra man in the line, moving up there. He now drops back to the full-back position, and it's Crooks at acting half-back. Steve Crooks. Paul Groves going in after the ball. But it's clamped tight. Steve Crooks again from acting half-back. Driving towards the Saints line. Only a matter of 6 feet. 6 or 8 feet short, and Hull on the charge. Greg Mackey along the line. Steve Folkes comes in field. Solid tackle, 6th and final, signified. Referee Whitfield there. His outstretched arm. Greg Mackey, is he going to have a go for drop? The crossfield rubber, hit the post, it's come back. Must be a planned move from these Aussies now. You see a lot of this in the close season Aussie tapes, especially Peter Sterling, crossfield grubber, aiming for the base of the post, and hopefully it bounced back awkward to the attacker's arms, and then they could hopefully score. But it's Haggerty there in possession. Saints moving it over to the right. Just about quarter of an hour remaining. We have had a little bit of injury time with our injury to Neil Holding. But it's Saints now. John Harrison. He can just break through that tackle, keep the ball in his hands for the supporting Saints players. But Saints now, they're going to kick downfield. Phil Vevers. Good ball. Alan Hunt following it up here on the left wing for Saints. Richard Gay going crossfield. Hunt and Loughlin clamp him. Well, Loughlin completes the tackle. From acting halfback, Steve Folkes. Real strong, these Aussie forwards, and they only know one way. But it's Hull now in possession. Probably the best bit of rugby they've had throughout the whole game. They certainly had most of the possession in this second half, and we're 25-26 minutes through it. Richard Price there breaks a couple of Saints tackles, but Tommy Frodsham finally brings him to ground. Greg Mackey just losing his foot in there. Harrison just puts a hand on him to complete the tackle, and it's the 6th tackle again. Little chip kick through there from Rob Nolan. Well, play allowed to go on. Overlap for Hull. Out to, it's John Sharp, is it? John Sharp goes in for a try. After, I think it was one of the Saints players couldn't take that ball. Possession was lost. It came back to Hull, and the ball finally released to John Sharp, and he touched down, hopefully to convert this Sharp try. Eastwood there just composing himself. Deadly hush from the threepenny stand here at Hull. Obviously trying to give the player a little bit of a help. Well, it looks good there. Yes, Eastwood bangs it right between the sticks, and that's another ball game. Just 4 points separating the teams after Saints with a 14-point cushion. As I said, about 12 minutes remaining, just 4 points separating the teams after Saints' lead looking unassailable. Well, here we go, they're singing the Old Faithful. I'm sure if Ray French was over here, he'd be telling you that he's singing Old Faithful. Trying to lift the team, get behind them. A rare mistake from the Saints this evening, and John Sharp capitalised on it and finished off with that try. But it's all in possession and with the tails up. Brian Blacker trying to burrow his way through. Greg Mackey, positional kicking for touch, and I think that's probably the first one that's found touch from an actual set piece. It's in the Saints 25, it's midway between the try line and the 25-yard line. It's going to be a scrum down with a Saints feed, but Saints are at the wrong end of the pitch. Deep in their own 25, and they've got to go a full 75 yards. They can do it.
Substitution, Tony Kay replace Alan Hunt.
Well, as you've heard, Tony Kay coming on, replacing Alan Hunt. He took a knock earlier on, but Saints win the scrum. Neil Holding breaking away. Tommy Frodsham on his right, but Holding couldn't release it. And Frodsham there, he took a knock. He tripped over a couple of players there and went down, and it looks as though he's twisted an ankle. That's a blow to the Saints. David Cosgrove. Well, he's still in agony there. Frodsham is trying to get out of the way. So Saints down to 12 men. Roy Haggerty bursting through. Flicks it back inside to Groves, as ever in support. Certainly a nail-biting finish to this game with just about 10 minutes remaining. John Harrison driving upfield. Sixth and final tackle now. Groves at dummy half, taking it to the right. Saints are running it. Mark Bailey, inside ball. Well, that's, yes, that's going to be the first changeover of the match. And we're 31 minutes into the second half. Carl Harrison still stood in the tackle. Finally brought to ground. But all with the tails up, just trailing by 4 points. Turn this game, 28-24. John Sharp flicks it up. Hull keep the ball moving, but Saints tattling. Paul Jones is stripping off in the dugout there with Tommy Frodsham injured. He can't take any further part, but loose play from Hull. Groves moves up very quickly, completes the tackle. Sixth and final tackle for Hull. Greg Mackey on to John Sharp. Just complete the tackle and it's the changeover. Well, two changeovers in quick succession. So Saints temporarily down to 12. Paul Farber bursting through there, trying to beat the cover defence. Shane Cooper inside to John Harrison. Still going Harrison. Two players on him and he's still driving forward. And Dannett there, did you see Dannett? He tried to party there with his boot there. Going unnoticed by the touch judge on this side. But Neil Holding moving into the acting half-back position. Roy Haggerty taking up the running. He'll take him on, his Haggerty. He's prodding and probing runs. Groves. Neil Holding gives the dummy. Out to David Cosgrove. Sixth tackle again. Paul Groves. Diagonal crossfield kick. Don't think it'll find touch. It's Anthony Jackson on the far side. But Saints move up very quickly, bang him down on the 25-yard line. Hopefully they can contain this whole outfit up in this end of the field. Saints still waiting to make the substitution now, down to 12 men. Tommy Frodshem's gone off, took an ankle injury there when he unfortunately fell over a ruck of players. Just about 7 minutes to play remaining. Harrison going up centre field, just penetrates the Saints half now. Steve Folkes at dummy half. Crossfield grubber kick, successfully finds touch, pegging the Saints back just on their own 25-yard line, and now Saints will be able to make that substitution.
The central substitution sees Paul Jones coming on and Tommy Frodshem's off.
Tommy Frodshem's off, as the PA system says. Paul Jones coming on, so a little bit of a reshuffle there for the Saints. Neil Holding to feed on the far side. Saints come up with the ball. Well taken there by Mark Bailey. And Beaver stepping up at tacking halfback. Tony Kay coming crossfield. Good ball to Loughlin. I beg your pardon. Paul Jones coming crossfield and a good ball to Loughlin. Now the ball with Tony Kay. Just come on as a substitute for Alan Hunt. And just a straight move onto the left wing. Roy Haggerty, centre field. 15 yards from the halfway line. Neil Holding from acting halfback, scampering through. Just held there, just grabbed by his the elastic in his shorts. Farber, inside ball. Tremendous pulsating game, and can the Saints hold out for the last few minutes? Shane Cooper flicks it up to Groves. He kicks it, does Groves, he releases it. It's puts Hull back in possession. They would have been if they'd have tackled Groves with the ball, as it was the sixth tackle. But Saints will hopefully have to contain Hull down in their own half of the ground. I said about 3 minutes before, I'm sorry, there must be about 5 minutes of normal time remaining. And it's still Saints in the lead by 28 points to 24. You wouldn't have given Hull a chance of coming back, would you? But Folkes there again. Crossfield kick, but well taken this time. David Tanner, he doesn't find touch. This ex-Fylde Rugby Union utility back, David Tanner, comes in field. Mark Bailey feeds it inside to Paul Jones. No fancy stuff from the Saints, just hold on to the ball and see, let the ball do the work. But Shane Cooper, he certainly had a good game in the loose. Been the perpetrator of many a Saints attack. Paul Groves moving up to the acting halfback position, bringing the ball to his left. Paul Farber has to take the tackle. Solid three-man tackle there from Hull. Sixth tackle again. They certainly come quick, don't they, these tackles? Neil Holding now. Richard Gay going back for the ball. Well, it's certainly running well. He has to take it in his own in-goal area as Saints move up very quickly. Shane Cooper, but Richard Gay comes through. Pass two, still going, but solid tackle from Loughlin right round the shoulders. Bangs him down on the 25. John Sharp at dummy half. Loughlin in again. And as I said again, a big mention to Paul Loughlin's Maureen Ashton. She's a regular viewer of the videos, and hopefully she'll will have a successful win tonight. 3 minutes now on the clock. Harrison feeds it back to Greg Mackey, back to Dannett. All trying to keep it going. On to Fuchs. Steve Fuchs. Well, the ball bouncing kindly as Brian Blacker tried to find touch. It hits up nice for Phil Beavers. He breaks through one tackle, but it's finally brought down. Dannett moves in very quickly. Neil Holding scampering through from acting halfback. Still going, Neil Holding. Carry out Percy's full defence, powering his way through. Going in field, support from Groves. He's in for his hat-trick. Groves touches down. That'll be it. Lick 'em and stick 'em. Saints will come away with the 2 valuable league points tonight, and Groves goes in for his hat-trick. We had 2 hat-tricks from Holding and Beavers in the last game at Nosey Road against Barrow, with a 62 points to 18 win, and Groves are always up and about and backing up. And he finished off in good style, but all the spade work there being done by Neil Holding, and Groves followed up in the 38th minute of the second half and touched it down as the crowd here from the Tripney stand begin to make the way away from the ground. You know, the game now is beyond their reach. After coming back, they was trailing by 14 points. They came back just 4 points deficit, and Saints sitting back there with a super try from Paul Groves. That makes it his hat-trick. And as I say, my good lady wife Chris, who unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight, she'll be ecstatic there, as Paul Groves, her favourite player. Loughlin there, locks it over right between the sticks. Extend the Saints lead now to 34 points to 24, with just 2 or 3 minutes of play remaining. Just reckoning up there, that's right, it's 6 tries, 3 from Groves, 1 from Tanner, Loughlin and Frodsham, with 5 Paul Loughlin goals.
Attention please.
The ball up to Cooper, back to Haggerty, but it goes down, and Hull back on the charge. It's Rob Nolan. Paul Jones I think it's Paul Jones into the tackle with Mark Bailey. No, it's John Harrison into the tackle with Mark Bailey. On to Carl Harrison.
Selected by Bass Sales North East, goes to Paul Eastwood.
So Greg Mackey across the line. Hull still trying to put it together. It's Richard Gay on the far side. Well, playing in time added on for that injury to Neil Holding, and Hull in possession in the Saints 25. Change of direction from Mackey, takes it across the field. Well, an awkward bouncing ball, but Hull tidy it up. They still keep it going. They're certainly throwing the ball about. It's a 6th and final tackle. It'll be an up and under, no doubt, from Mackey there. Little chip kick through. Well taken by Phil Beavers. Does well. Does he stop in the field of play? Yes. Just outside his own line. It keeps Saints on course in the Stones Bitter League Championship table. That'll put them back in 2nd position after tonight's match. And it certainly, well, there's the final hooter, and Saints running out winners by 34 points to 24. And it's certainly an easy road back to St Helens after the long trek up to Hull, when you've won, isn't it? And won emphatically, even though we had a little bit of a scare late on when Hull came back. But second half tries, 2 from Paul Groves, 2 Loughlin goals, after leading by 22 points to 12 at half time. It's Groves' hat-trick. I think it's the first, well, I'm saying it's the first hat-trick with the Saints, but he's certainly there and about. He's always backing up. But Saints with a 6-try display there from, as I said, David Tanner, 3 from Paul Groves, Paul Loughlin a try, Tommy Frodsham, 5 Paul Loughlin goals. An emphatic win here at the Boulevard, and certainly a valuable 2 points. Anyway, on behalf of BSN, that's Broadcast Sports and News, the best in Saints video, I bid you farewell from the Boulevard. I say, my name's Ron Hoof, your regular matchday commentator, and we hope you'll join us again next Sunday at Post Office Road, Featherstone, for the Stones Bitter League clash versus Peter Fox's men. Okay, Pete.